उड़ीसा में पुनश्च पृथ्वी के इस कार्यक्रम में आप दोनों का स्वागत है। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस हियर टुडे। चंद्रभूषण जी, मैं आपसे शुरू करना चाहूंगी। जब हम पर्यावरण के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो भारत जैसे तेजी से विकासशील देशों के शहर आर्थिक विकास और पर्यावरण स्थिरता के बीच बिना किसी समझौते के कैसे संतुलन बना सकते हैं, इसमें आपका राय क्या है?
एक्चुअली ये काफ़ी कठिन सवाल है। सवाल लगता बहुत आसान है, लेकिन ये कठिन इसलिए है कि आपने उत्पल शर्मा जी का प्रेजेंटेशन देखा है कि हमारे जो शहर हैं, अभी के शहर, वो पुराने शहर हैं, और हमारा जो टाउन प्लानिंग है वो एक बड़े छोटे एरिया के लिए करते हैं और पेरी अर्बन एरिया बढ़ते जा रहा है। इनफैक्ट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द सिटीज़ में जो म्यूनसिपल कॉरपोरेशन है वो इट माइट नॉट बी इवन हाफ ऑफ द टोटल अर्बन एग्लोमरेशन, इवन मे बी 1/3. More people live outside municipal boundaries now in some cities than they live within municipal boundary. So having said that, and the third challenge is the rapidity at which we are urbanizing. Now, what we need to do first, I think we need to strengthen our town planning departments. पहला बात ये है, मतलब every state that I have traveled, town and city planning department is possibly the weakest department that I see now. Planning as a process, as an institutional process, is something that is not happening well. दूसरा चीज, our planning is not integrated. So we do land use planning is done by someone else. Building construction guideline is done by someone else. Say transport planning is done by someone else. So the integrated planning is also which is missing, and I have already made that point. We now have technology to actually plan and model city outcomes. So अगर मुझे 2-3 आप रिकमेंडेशन पूछेंगे, पहला रिकमेंडेशन ये है कि आप अपने टाउन और सिटी और कंट्री प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट को स्ट्रेंथन कीजिए। आप अपने टाउन, कंट्री प्लानिंग और मास्टर प्लान का जो रेगुलेशन है उसको स्ट्रेंथन कीजिए। और तीसरा ये है कि अगर वायलेशंस हैं, और हमारे देश में वायलेशंस काफ़ी होते हैं, आप उसको स्ट्रिक्टली और प्रोएक्टिवली एक्ट कीजिए। अदरवाइज हम लॉ तो बनाते हैं लेकिन उसका इन्फोर्समेंट इज वेरी वेरी पुअर। तो ये 3-4 रिकमेंडेशन है मेरे लिए।
जी, प्रोफेसर शर्मा, नीति निर्माता ये कैसे सुनिश्चित कर सकते हैं कि जलवायु अनुकूल रणनीतियां शहरी क्षेत्रों में आर्थिक विकास में बाधा ना डाले? तो इसमें आपका क्या कहना है, आपका मत क्या है?
No, I think the environment has to be considered number one, because that is non-negotiable. And if you consider it, you can always build a plan around it. It doesn't mean that you have to destroy the ecosystem, fill up the water body and make it into buildable land, etc. We can build it around. And if you respect that, your plan will be more resilient and will be more successful. And this is actually all our traditional city planning has always done that. Okay, जयपुर में ओल्ड सिटी में कभी फ्लडिंग नहीं होता है, वो बाकी जगह में होता है. They put the city on the ridge, the water flows out. We have respected those days. We didn't have technology kind of software that we had. They had used a software called Common Sense, but they used it, judiciously, and it doesn't have the problem. Ahmedabad old city doesn't go underwater. Ahmedabad goes underwater. Okay, they have planned it. So we have to learn from our historic cities, derive lessons for today. What we have done is that we have discarded whatever that we had, and we followed the British model of low density, spread out cities, which you cannot afford. Okay, so we need to change our mindset and start working differently. And we need to have even textbook. I don't even have textbook to teach because I'm using this as the case studies. The only textbook are talking about low density planning. So I have to use this case study to say that in reality, the ground situation is very different and we have to plan it differently.
Okay. Chandra Bhusan ji, when we are talking about global climate dialogue, तो जैसे पेरिस एग्रीमेंट की बात की जाए तो जिला तथा नगरपालिका स्तर पर इसको हम कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, रणनीतियों में इसको कैसे बदला जा सकता है और इसकी आवश्यकता कितनी है?
You know, the weakest level of government is local government in India. If you really want better governance, then the strongest government should be local government. Okay. In fact, the voting percentage in our local government is 25%. In fact, in many states, local election में 15% लोग भी voting नहीं देते हैं. If you really want proper urbanization, environment-friendly way of living, we all have to participate in urban governance. We will have to elect right people as local government. We will have to strengthen our municipalities. In fact, municipalities in most states possibly have the weakest technical capability. So if you want municipality and local government to address issues of climate change, then you need to build capacity, provide them with resources. It is only in last couple of decades that money has started coming directly from central government to the municipalities as direct transfer. But also, how many of the powers we have devolved to municipalities? If you do a comparison of a state, you will find that Kerala possibly has devolved the maximum power to local government. Okay. I think we have to see how much devolution has happened in Odisha. So one, provide them resource, empower them, elect right people, strengthen municipality.
But
These are the things you have to do.
Adding to your answer, I would like to know, sir, that when we are talking about the Paris Agreement or any global climate dialogues, does the current trend of urbanization is compatible with that?
As I said, current way of urbanization is not compatible. The way we are building our cities is adding to climate crisis, is adding to global warming. Okay, that is quite clear. Our emissions are increasing, our energy consumption is going up. Our cities are hotter than surrounding area. We call it as urban heat island impact. In fact, the temperature difference between Bhubaneswar and surrounding village is anywhere between 3 to 5 degrees. Okay, so the current pattern of urbanization is not compatible. But one last point I will make, okay? The mayor of London is the most powerful politician of UK. The mayor of London. That is why cities, great cities of the world, are able to do things. You need the most powerful mayor, ward commissioner to run your cities. Okay. Cities cannot be run by state government.
Very nicely said. I think this is a message for the future works for the state government as well. Professor Sharma, when we're talking about the government's action and the government's role in all kind of development, शहरी नियोजन में आर्थिक विकास को साथ लेकर जलवायु परिवर्तन को ध्यान में रखकर आगे बढ़ने के लिए राज्य सरकार की भूमिका कितनी महत्वपूर्ण है आपके हिसाब से?
Now, as I told that 75% of our economy is from the urban area. The 70% people who live in the rural areas, they contribute 25 to 30%, but they are the vote bank. So you have to go there to win the election. The money is in the urban area. Our constitution is done in a way that we have a lot of program for rural development, but urban is not part of the center. So it is done by the state. But state is always broke. They always go to the center looking for money. Okay. And finally they don't give anything back to the city. They said you do with the municipality. You take your tax and do whatever you want. So there is a kind of a mismatch in terms of resource requirement and what is actually available. But I'm saying that if cities contribute 75% of the GDP, then 75% of GST collection should come to the city. And we have to make the amendment to do that. Cannot be done with the house tax or property tax से ये infrastructure बन नहीं सकता. So it is a fundamental change that is required. State has a role to play Now state is supposed to also work out a urbanization policy for the state. Like Odisha, do you have a urbanization policy for the state? That how the Odisha as the state will become urban? Which city to make bigger? Which city to be smaller? Should it be connected? Should it be corridor development? So each state can make its own proposal as to how the overall development will happen. Instead, we are making plan independently for one city. Okay. So it needs the overall strategy that every state must do. Now Kerala is doing, now Assam is beginning to do, I'm sure Odisha also will do. That is in terms of planning. Resources to come from somewhere else. And we have to make amendment or find out ways how do I get the land for road, open space and amenities and even 5% land for the housing for the poor. If I'm able to make that, we will have a breakthrough. It is the lack of space for public domain and that people are not willing to surrender, obviously, but I have to facilitate that process. If we are able to do that, we will have all the things. We have a very highly dense cities with very little area under road, open space and amenities. We don't even have to do any study to tell that we are awfully inadequate. And we have to expand that.
So I can extract this point that you are trying to say is that as Chandra Bhusan sir has also said that we have to have a very good and efficient planning board first of all. So moving ahead to you Chandra Bhusan sir, being a citizen of Bhubaneswar पिछले कुछ सालों में हमने तापमान में अप्रत्याशित बढ़ोतरी देखी है जो आपका रिसर्च रिपोर्ट भी कहता है और ये प्रूफ होता है. लेकिन आपने ये प्रॉब्लम के बारे में बताया, इसके कारण के बारे में बताया. हम आपसे ये जानना चाहेंगे कि हमें इसके मुकाबला करने के लिए क्या क्या करना चाहिए, पॉलिसीज और स्ट्रैटेजीज हमारा क्या होना चाहिए?
In fact, the solutions are quite easy and affordable as far as heat is concerned. We did modeling in a place called Salia Sahi, which is your low density slum area, as well as on Rajpath, your high-rise building. And our modeling study shows that simple thing like white roof paint. So instead of Bhubaneswar painting its roof black, okay, if you can paint your roof white, it will reduce temperature of the city, surface temperature, not the city, sorry. Surface temperature by as much as 3 to 4 degrees, okay. In last 7 years, Bhubaneswar built up area has increased by 25%. Its green cover has reduced by 10% and its water body by 75%. So all the ponds that you had in Bhubaneswar is more or less vanishing. You are becoming next Bangalore. You are filling your ponds and you are building city. So you are reducing your green and blue infrastructure. You are reducing green cover and water body and you are increasing concrete. This is what is happening in the city. Of course, if you are doing that, your urban heat island is going to increase. So Bhubaneswar, because of reduction in green cover and water body and increase in concrete structure is heating up, okay? We now need to start greening the city, okay? And greening doesn't only require open space. You can green your rooftop, you can green facade of your building, you can green road median, you can green pathways. All of them can be done, and as I said, our modeling study in Janpath, sorry, not Rajpath, Janpath and Salia Sahi shows that with affordable intervention, Bhubaneswar can reduce temperature by at least a degree. 1 degree will matter.
Okay, so in adding to that, for a sustainable and equitable city, how do you see the integration of the modern technologies like AI, smart grid and all?
I think the potential is extremely high from traffic management. In fact, the use of AI for traffic management, if we use it carefully, it will reduce congestion, okay? Improve your public transport, okay? So from planning to actually reducing congestion, modeling cities and seeing the impact of master plan, I mean to say the potential is, unlimited as far as use of AI and technology is concerned in urban governance. It is unlimited.
Well, thank you so much for your insightful words. Thank you, Professor Sharma. We really appreciate your presence over here. ये आशा ज़रूर हम सबके बीच है. Likewise, your report, we will definitely work forward on this, and we also request the state government also work on this project. Thank you so much for joining us with us today for this discussion. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.